Hi everyone, it's Aaron, and this is the start to my Tome Topple vlog. Tome Topple is a readathon that's brought to you by Sam at Thoughts on Tomes, and it is about reading books that are more than 500 pages. And it's not about finishing them, it's just about working on them. So what I'm going to work on is Doomsday book by Connie Willis, Hubbard's Battlefield Earth, Consider Phlebas by Ian M. Banks, and maybe Anathem by Neal Stephenson. So we'll see what I get done of those. Hi everyone, it's Thanksgiving morning, and I'm just going to do a quick check-in here. I stayed up till 11:30 last night finishing Consider Phlebas by Ian M. Banks, and it made me so sad at the end. It was really rough on me. I actually had to get up and read the internet and look at cat photos and things like that for a bit to lift my spirits before I could go back to bed. So it's my first one for Tome Topple, and we'll see where it goes from here. Bye guys. Hi everyone, it is Saturday the 26th of November, and so it is well past halfway of the Tome Topple readathon challenge, and I just finished Doomsday book by Connie Willis. This one was actually very good. I was actually very impressed with this. It was a lot more powerful and a lot more entertaining than I imagined it was going to be, and I'll talk about it more on my final wrap-up of Tome Topple. Bye guys. Hi everyone, it's Aaron. It's November 27th, and this is another Tome Topple check-in. I've finished 2 of my Tome Topple TBR, and I've actually gotten through I'm about 460 pages into Battlefield Earth. I'm not going to finish it in the next 4 days, though. So I did talk about how I was going to maybe start an Anathem, and so I did actually start that, but I'm only about 20 pages in. I just started it last night after I finished Doomsday book. So I might actually just in the next 4 days work on a graphic novel that I borrowed from my friend again. This is The Meta Barons. This is by Alejandro Jodorowsky and Juan Giménez. And this is a very classic French kind of, it's a French graphic novel. It is a full story based on some characters from the original Heavy Metal publication. What's great about this one is the pictures are watercolor, and so that's a much different approach, or it's very contrast to a lot of what you see today, which is a lot of just kind of like flash drawing straight on the computer. So it's very refreshing to see those just beautiful and intricately detailed watercolor pictures for every little frame in there. So that's where I am right now. We'll see where things end up by Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Hey everyone, it's Aaron, and it is the evening of December 1st, so what that means is that Tome Topple is over, and so this is going to kind of be my wrap-up of the overall event. And so I was able to finish Consider Phlebas. This is by Ian M. Banks. This was the first one I finished, and this one was extremely exciting. This is actually the beginning of a series that the 2 sequels are on my top 100 list that I'm trying to work my way through, and reading this one to get to them was not a chore at all. This book was extremely exciting, just all the way through. It was just such an easy read. It didn't feel like 500 pages at all. And the next one I got through was Doomsday book by Connie Willis. This one was exciting too, in a bit of a different way. If I had to relate this to any other book that I've read before, it would probably be Cormac McCarthy's The Road, although not quite as heart-wrenching, but still pretty heart-wrenching. This is about a time traveler historian that goes back to the 13th century. This is split into 2 time periods, so a near-distant future where it's Oxford University, where they have the time travel equipment, and then the 13th century, where Kivrin, the historian, is sent to. And this has a lot of emotional elements to it, but also a lot of mystery of what's happening. We don't know. The characters are in a state of unknowing a lot in both sides of the timeline. And I was actually really impressed with how time travel was handled in this one. Connie Willis stuck to the rules that she established for time travel in this narrative, and so that was really, really awesome. I generally don't like time travel stories because they can't stay consistent with their rules generally. And then I didn't finish this, but I got 685 pages through Battlefield Earth. So this is like 1,000-some pages. This is actually pretty exciting too. I'm liking this more than I really want to, based on who wrote it. But it's definitely one I'm going to finish. It's quite an epic. It's more than just a enslavement revolution, gaining freedom. It plays into politics after freedom is gained, and human conflict that always seems to come up, and that humanity is always their own worst enemy. And then I did start this up, but I didn't get very far in it. Anathem by Neal Stephenson. I'm about 62 pages in. But I'm enjoying this. This is about a walled city, or walled university, I guess is what you could call it. But it's a group of people that worship mathematics, and they separate themselves from the world outside the wall, and societies rise and fall outside the wall, and just kind of getting started in getting to know the character and the world itself there. So I'm really excited to continue on with this one. So I finished 2 500+ page books and got almost 700 pages through another, and that is actually pretty impressive for me. So I really want to thank Sam at Thoughts on Tomes for having this readathon. It really pushed me to try and make it through some larger books, and books that I ended up really enjoying. So I hope everyone else had fun with Tome Topple, and I'll see you next time.